Hello everybody, and welcome to a Theros Beyond Death draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video and want to help me out with only 2 quick clicks, just remember to click that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Click that bell if you don't to get notified when I post future videos, and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions or feedback. I'd love to hear from you. This pack is a pretty easy Archon of Sun's Grace. This card is very good. If it sticks around, it pretty much wins you the game instantly. I've also been I've started to figure out how the white decks work. When I first started the format, I drafted green a ton, and now I've been drafting white a decent amount because I think I finally started to figure out how the color functions. We're gonna very heavily try to play white because this card just wins you the game so many times. One of the things I've discovered in Theros Beyond Death is that if you are trying to have like the best version of a deck, you want to oftentimes make sure that you have like at least one card that can just like kind of win you the game on its own. So you really want to try to play those bombs when you do open them. After that, I'd probably take Drag to the Underworld, but only slightly ahead of Elysian Caryatid. This card has been quite good. And now we can follow up Archon of Sun's Grace. There is a few cards in this pack that are pretty good. Timret is quite good. Very powerful card. White-Black is a deck that I just played, and it was pretty effective. It works really well with the Archon too because there's a lot of enchantment creatures like Soul Reaper of Mogus running around in White-Black. Double Black and Double White in the same deck isn't as hard because this does get cast a little bit later, and black is one of the best colors in the set. So I think we are going to take the Timret here over the Agonizing Remorse. Heliod's Pilgrim is one of the top white commons. I have it as number 4. I have currently at number 1 is Dreadful Apathy, then the Griffin just because flying is, the Chimera just because flying is so important. And then I actually have Omen of the Sun. Omen of the Sun has been a real impressive card. And then I have Heliod's Pilgrim just because you can get so many things with it. Irosa's Blessing is a pretty solid removal spell. I've been very impressed by this card, but I haven't had the best success with a white-red, like either with or against. It's just a little bit finicky, and I think Timret puts me into a color that's super deep, super powerful, and getting past one is maybe a little bit of a sign, more than an Irosa's Blessing would be. And then maybe we can wheel Soul Reaper of Mogus. Agonizing Remorse is also a pretty good card. Here there is a Labyrinth of Scophos. I don't think that's really where we want to be though, because our deck has really heavy mana requirements. Like we have a double black card and a double white card already. So I'm not sure we want to be taking that. We could take Heliod's Punishment, but we're not sure how aggressive we're going to be yet. We could take a Blight Breath Catoblepas. There's a Voracious Typhon. I think Voracious Typhon's good, and I don't think white green is a very good archetype because it doesn't really do it doesn't really grind all that as well as something like black green. So you just end up getting outvalued. And also I really want to play this Archon of Sun's Grace. I'm going to try and bias my picks towards it. That being said, Heliod's Punishment, I've actually been relatively impressed with it just because it does take a creature out of commission for a while. I just don't think I want to take that. Hopefully Omen of the Sun wheels. I think we're going to take the Blight Breath Catoblepas. It works well with the Timeret because it gets all that black mana symbols. And yeah. And now we can take a Mogus's Favor. This card's been pretty nice for me, especially as a one-of. It's a card that you can search up with Heliod's Pilgrim for the right matchup, and then in the right matchup it really thrives. Klothys' Design is a card that I was initially low on, but if you have the 5-mana 5/3 that gives all your stuff trample, then I think it has a decent, then it does pretty well as well. If you have the 5/3 that gives your entire team trample, then Klothys' Design is actually a real card. Furious Rise is pretty solid, but I don't think it pairs well with my other cards. We're just going to take Mogus's Favor here. It's looking like green is a little bit open, but not insanely open. I'm just going to slam Captivating Unicorn here. It works in the same type of deck that Archon works in, really pays you off for the enchantments. We already have 2 enchantments. White-Black tends to get a lot of enchantments, and I really am a fan of Captivating Unicorn at the top end of those decks. Binding of Titans is also a card that's better than it looks, but I'm not going to be playing green here. Hopefully I can get into a white deck that lets me make use of all of this powerful Archon. Thundering Chariot is okay as well, but nothing too exciting. Rage Guard Berserker has been an overperformer, but not as much of an overperformer as Captivating Unicorn. Okie doke. Now there's a Dream Shaper Shaman, which is a card that is quite powerful and relatively easy to splash. We would just need a mountain and then 2 Traveler's Amulets or something like that. Not really sure if that's worth it to just take it over a Triumphant Surge. Triumphant Surge has been pretty potent as well. We could just take Dreamshaper Shaman. Our deck could end up relatively grindy, and this is a card that can win you the late game pretty easily. And it's taking it over a card that might wheel. And now we get a Soul Reaper of Mogus. This card is quite nice. It gives me another black symbol, triggers my Unicorn and my Archon. I've been pretty impressed with this card. It also works really well with Omen of the Sun, which I really prioritize in this archetype. And now there's a Funeral Rites. I'm not a huge fan of Discordant Piper. This card has not impressed me. It gets owned by Mogus's favor, any other ping effects. It also just doesn't attack well in the format. So I think we're going to take Funeral Rites. Put that in the sideboard for now. Venomous Hierophant. I think Mogus's favor is the type of card that having access to one copy of is good, but multiple copies get much, much worse. So I think Venomous Hierophant is good because it'll help me fuel my graveyard. I might be able to get some stuff that use the graveyard. And if I have any escape cards, this card essentially like draws a card a lot of the time. Triumphant Surge is also a pretty good card, but I only want one copy and I might get one back later. And now there's another Soul Reaper of Mogus. Scavenging Harpy just has not been impressive to me. A 2/1 just too fragile. And Soul Reaper has actually been quite good. Leonin, sure. We're actually going to take Thirst for Meaning because there's a non-zero chance that we just open a great blue card and then we could transfer, or we open a great red card and transfer. But I currently don't want to abandon the Archon plan. But Leonin is not a card I'm really ever happy to play. And now we'll take a Skola Grove Dancer over Glimpse of Freedom is the type of card that's only good if you have no other escape cards, which you'll end up with. We already have one. It's pretty easy to get more. We're going to take the, let's take the Oriad. Let's just take Skola. If we open a great green rare, we could transition. And now we'll take Riptide Turtle. Certain blue-black decks will want to play that card. Sure, we'll take the Uncommon and the Island. Okay, so blue might be a little bit open, but I think we still want to stick to our guns, as it were, for now. Currently not putting that card in the deck. But if we open something really worthwhile, oh baby, it's triple. I don't know why I say that. I hear people say that. Actually, only Lord Tupperware says it. He's a streamer I watch. But Thassa Deep Dwelling is a great card, and definitely a card that could make us want to transition back to blue. Because what I said before was you really want to have some game-breaking rare, and Archon of Sun's Grace is fantastic. But if we have a Thassa, we can do a similar value type of plan where we just get a nice little enter the battlefield creature and then just go off. There's also, I mean, if I was just to stick with a white card, I could take Heliod's Pilgrim, but so far it only fetches me a Mogus's favor. So this is a pretty low downside pick here. I'm not missing out on much. I'm missing out on maybe a Blessing, a Heliod's Pilgrim. Blessing's not a card I'm super high on in this deck anyway, because I don't really have a ton of auras I'm putting on my own creatures. And there's a Blood Aspirant, but I'm not playing that color anyway. So this is a very low opportunity cost Thassa that could potentially really pay dividends. Wow, Ox of Agonis. I'm pretty sure Ox is worth something. Really? Really, deck? This is just a tool. If you're ever playing on Magic Online, you can just go to MTGO Traders. They have pretty Ox of Agonis. Yeah, the card is just 8 ticks. Yeah, probably just gonna take that. There's also, if Ox were not in the pack, what would I be taking? There's a Devourer, which is not a super high priority. There's One with the Stars, a removal spell. I could take Dreadful Apathy, transition back. We're just going to take the Ox, though. Get that value if the deck backfires. And now there's no black cards we want. There's no blue cards we want, so we're just going to take Revoke Existence. The first copy of this is pretty high priority. Flicker of Fate is pretty solid. So Watcher of Tomorrows. We haven't really seen any good creatures to bounce with Thassa. We're going to have to choose which colors we want to play. We could also play blue-white, which is just an option we have. I think we don't really want to move into green. We could just take Witness of Tomorrows. If we played blue-white, we could end up with a pretty solid deck because we would have Archon. I just don't think white hasn't been very open. I just really want to play the Archon. We could take Witness. I've not been super impressed by that. Flicker of Fate's pretty solid if you have the right cards to combo with it, which we don't really have. Yeah, let's just take Witness. Now the Daybreak Chimera, relatively late. Not super late, but pick 5 is pretty nice to get one. I've been a pretty big fan. There's a Vexing Goal, there's a Lampad. Lampad's been pretty solid for me, but I think Daybreak Chimera is great. It helps me play my Archon. Provoke Existence number 2 versus really nothing else in the pack. There's a Nyxborn Seaguard. I think we'll just take the Seaguard and try to transition to blue-white, potentially. We have a decent amount of flyers, so this card can do good work. Now there's a Flicker of Fate. I like this card a decent amount. It can protect your creatures. It can also just bounce them and bring them back, which is pretty nice. Or we could just take a Naiad. So these are black cards. We don't have any superpower. We have a couple pretty good ones. These are our blue-white cards. Maybe we're just supposed to take Naiad. I think we're just going to take the Naiad. And now another Riptide Turtle helps us stall until we find the cards we need. I've been pretty impressed by Riptide Turtle. We're trying to find cards with good enters to battlefield triggers, so maybe the 3-mana 2/2 that gets bounced and draws extra cards is okay. And now there's a Karametra's Blessing. I guess we'll just take that. Mill plan. Thirst Remaining coming back is a great sign. This card's great. Helps us find our bombs. Mirror Shield, we might play that if we are low on playables. Thaumaturge, hopefully don't have to play that. So the way we started this draft was we opened Archon, and then we picked Timoret, and then we picked Catoblepas. And those have been the only great black cards we've seen. So maybe blue-white is a pretty solid home for us to end up in. Again, as I said, this card is just so good. It's worth warping your deck around playing it. Because you win so many of the games you untap with it. Okie doke. So there is Nalia's Intervention. I really like Dreadful Apathy here. We're just going to jam that. It's a enchantment that sits in play to give us Devotion for Chimera. Triggers our Archon. We need removal. Mischievous Chimera is pretty solid as well, but we're not playing red. I mean, we're not splashing the Dream Shaper. We just don't have the tools to do that. I would really hope that... I don't think it's going to wheel, but I would wish that would wheel, because it's so super good for us. Birth of Meletus might wheel, which would actually be pretty solid as well. I wouldn't mind playing that card. And now we can pick up an Omen of the Sun. We're not really into the Phalanx Tactics lifestyle right now. Omen of the Sun's going to be great for us. Scries us into our stuff. Helps us stall the game out. We have a pretty powerful engine. We don't have any great cards to trigger enters to battlefields for right now. We would really like to have some of those. It works really well with like Catoblepas and stuff. Catoblepas. There's also a Nyxborn Seaguard that might wheel. Omen is just great though. I've been a big fan. Riptide Turtle is almost like removal for certain cards, which is quite nice. There's a Myers Grasp. Also just a 1 with the stars. I think we'll just have to take the 1 with the stars. It sits in play, gives us Devotion for Thassa. And it looks like we're not playing black at this point. Does this flicker any permanent? Other target creature. Birth of Meletus actually could be pretty solid for us. As like a way to stall the game out. Searches for our planes. Gets an enchantment trigger for the Archon. We can discard it to Thirst Remaining in the late game. Actually, let's just take the Thirst Remaining. Nobody else wants Birth of Meletus, I don't think. And Thirst Remaining is a key card in the deck. Catharine Unicorn's not looking super great. Whoa, Staggering Insight. Nice. So this card is a nice little win condition. We put this onto one of our flyers. Maybe we do play Thaumaturgus Familiar in this deck now that we have a pretty good card to put on it. Also, Thaumaturgus is not the worst to flicker with Thassa, get an extra scry every turn. But yeah, get in, just take the Staggering Insight over Stern Dismissal here. And we don't really want another Nyxborn Sea Guard. The Glimpse might even wheel. We don't have any ways to use our graveyard right now. We don't want a fourth Thirst, I don't think. I think we might actually take Glimpse just because 5 cards is a lot, but we have a pretty decent amount of discard, and we don't have any way to use our graveyard right now. Maybe we have to win with Sage. Like just triggering it with Thassa a bunch of times. Flicker of Meaning's okay. Works well with Dreadful Apathy, with our Omen of the Sun. Maybe we just take Nyxborn. Yeah, I like that. Ooh, Shimmerwing. Shimmerwing. Shimmerwing with Omen. Shimmerwing with... not really Dreadful Apathy. I like Shimmerwing, though. We'll take it. Now, Eidolon of Philosophy. There's a Hero of the Pride, which we don't want. Ooh, we're going to take Heliod's Pilgrim. It can find us our Staggering Insight. And then on the wheel, we get to Deny the Divine, which is really good with our Thirst for Meanings. Another Nyxborn. Towering Wave Mystic. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken the Nyxborn over the Insight card. Probably end up playing the Catharine. Ooh, this is a good one to get back. This is actually a good card to flicker with our Thassa for once. Stern Dismissal, nice. Nice little pickup. So good to know Birth of Meletus does not wheel. I had a feeling it would, which was misplaced. I forget what I took over it now. Oh, baby. Glimpse of Freedom came back, which is actually really good for us. We could also just take a Riptide Turtle. But I think Glimpse of Freedom is really good for us, because we don't have a way to use the graveyard right now. Maybe we just needed another defensive card. Chain of Memory's okay. Okay, so how are we winning the game? We're winning with a flyer hitting them. Shimmering Chimera can pick up Omen of the Sun, which is a nice combo. Can pick up... okay, we probably don't want Towering Wave Mystic. We could play a Dream Shaper Shaman, but that doesn't strike me as all that good. We have an Archon, we have a Thassa, we have enough ways to win, I think. We're probably not going to play all of the Nyxborns. Group creatures separately. Wait, why is he in the deck still? Get out of the deck. Okay, so we have great card draw, good counter magic. Maybe I was just supposed to take the Riptide Turtle over the Glimpse. Turtles get worse in multiples, but yeah, I still think that might have been correct. We have the Pilgrim to go find our Staggering Insight or our one or our Dreadful Apathy. We could just cut this guy. I really like our 3-drops. The lead-in structure is a bit rough, but it does combo with the Thassa. Yeah, I should have taken cards a little bit more. Like I think I messed up on my picks a little bit. I think we might need the target player mills too. Maybe we just cut the Karametra's Blessing. We don't have any super high priority creatures to protect. And then we need one more cut. Shimmerwing doesn't really do much. It combos with some of our cards. But not a lot, not all of them even. It's just a 4-mana 3/2 flyer, worst case. And if we ever draw it plus Omen of the Sun, that's a really nice combo. So I think it's worth running still. We'll just cut I think we kind of need Thaumaturge's Familiar. Just have another creature. And have a nice little card to get a Scry every turn with Thassa. This is a tricky cut. Let's cut the Nyxborn Seaguard. We have a lot of like defensive wall-like creatures. But then it's harder to turn on our Thassa. Glimpse might be too much. Wheel spinning. Okay, I actually kind of like all these cards, so it's more like which one of these we want to cut. Let's just add back in the Nyxborn Seaguard and run it like this. We have a lot of 3s that we want to be casting on turn 3. We have Thirsts, we have a Deny, an Omen. Omen is like a 3-drop. Let's put it up there. That'll make things look better. Yeah. Perfect. Combine the groups. Sort by color. Yeah, we definitely want to go 10-7, I think. Because we do have double white cards we want to cast. And that is going to do it for the build, and I hope you stay with me for the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Thank you so much for your support, and special thanks to my patrons that support at the credits level, Eric S., Stephen W., Brent, and Mr. Martinez. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about the Patreon, you can find that information at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round 1. We would like to play first. We will keep this hand. It's got a nice little curve out here. We've got a turtle to defend us. We've got a pilgrim to give us some card advantage. The way Magic Online resizes the window every time you try to open the game log is ludicrous. They scry to the bottom. Perfect, we drew a land. That's just what we needed. So we'll get our turtle out to defend us from any shenanigans. Okay, so I think now we just cast our Naiad. No, let's just hold up Thirst for Meaning. Draw some cards. Maybe we even discard our Naiad. Definitely going to get rid of an enchantment, and I think it's just going to be the Naiad. And we are officially out of ores for our pilgrim, so we're never going to play that. We're just going to discard it to a Thirst for Meaning down the road. We are setting up the walls. Sure, Omen of the Hunt. This seems like a good matchup for our deck because it's also a slow kind of do stuff in the late game deck, and our deck is pretty solid in that situation, especially thanks to our powerful cards like Archon. Sure, Destiny Spinner. Okie doke. We do not care about Destiny Spinner. It just doesn't do anything. What auras do we have in our deck? Maybe we do have another one. We have the Insight. We have Apathy. I think that's it. We're just waiting to draw a flyer. Oh, so my Deny the Divine is useless right now. Gosh. We can just block this with an 0-5 all day long. Thanks, Magic Online. I really needed that window resizing in my life. 2 on the bottom. Okay, good to know. Good draw there. Now we have a flyer. Okay, we do not have a flyer. Okay. I have messed up. I could have sterned this in response, I think, and that would have been better. My thought was I could just Dreadful Apathy it. But that would have been the perfect opportunity to... I think we have to just bounce Destiny Spinner on their end step and then counter it on its way back down. I think we're actually going to scry too. What you gonna get? Ghostbusters. Starlit Mantle, eh? Well, we'll keep Thassa. Basil will be a creature soon, which is good. So they will have Starlit Mantle. Okay, so they have Starlit Mantle and an Omen, and they're kind of out of everything else. I really botched it, not bouncing the Loathsome Chimera. It would have been much better. I'm surprised they're splashing Heliod's Pilgrim. Seems like a weird splash to me. They didn't scry on upkeep, that's interesting. And they're splashing Siona. They whiffed on Siona. We know their last card is Starlit Mantle. We'd love a Thirst for Meaning. Well, that was a great draw. Because now we can just put Staggering Insight on it. Get at least a 2/2 flyer that can start beating down in the air. I'm not the biggest fan of doing this now, because they do get a scry. But they also get a scry to find a fight spell, so. And I get to trigger Constellation again. Because it just enters a battlefield thing and I have a Nyxborn in play. They put 2 on the bottom. Yep. Anthas is now a creature. Maybe I was supposed to send. Oh, are you kidding me? Actually, I can just bounce that. That's okay. It's the best use for my bounce spell I'm going to get. It'll let me cantrip it. Send in the squad. Sure, make that land into a creature. Another 2/2 flyer. Perfect. And then next turn, I can, I'll tap something down so they can't really hit me very well. And then I will flicker this thing. Yep. Deny the Divine's probably coming out just because of how effective Destiny Spinner is. So she will no longer be a creature, but I'll get my Archon back. The combo of Thassa plus Archon is quite good. Booyah. So they have some ways to use the graveyard, but Nyxborn Seaguard definitely was an all-star there. We're going to bring in another one of those. The Thaumaturges. We're going to bring in Towering Wave Mystic as a blocker. Blessing is interesting, but I don't think we want it. And then we're going to cut out. So Pilgrim's still good. It can. Oh, One with the Stars. I forgot about that card. Okay, we're going to cut. Deny the Divine. Because if they play a 2-drop, it's invalidated. Maybe we don't need the Wave Mystic. And we probably don't need another Seaguard. Wave Mystic doesn't block the 2/3. Okay, that's a good hand. We have our Omen plus Shimmerwing combo. And a Revoke to kind of protect it. Now all we need to do is draw some lands. We'll be good to go. Thank you, deck. Much obliged. Huge fan of Heliod's Omen, the Omen of the Sun. Sure. Ichthyomorphosis. Mantle, sure. We're going to exile that. If they put it onto their guy. Are they going to counter this? Really? Okay. Shimmerwing just got a lot worse, but other than that, we're fine. Yep, we will exile the Mantle of the Wolf. Because it has to be put into a graveyard to trigger. If we draw planes, okay, we did not draw planes. Yeah, it's too greedy. Actually, yeah, it's way too greedy to not just kill this now. I don't know why I attacked here. That was a terrible attack. Actually, it's not the worst. We can Staggering Insight it next turn. So we're actually okay in a racing spot. And it's kind of nice because Staggering Insight forces them to deal with Shimmering Chimera, so then they might not have an answer for Archon. Three, six. So that will be drawing them some cards. I just like taking this a little bit slow. Hit them for 4, draw a card. Ooh, turtle, perfect. They're going to be drawing extra cards too, thanks to their Eidolon. Thirst for Meaning in number 2. They got rid of Omen of the Sea. Two cards. Island, Island. So they didn't have an answer to that. So it makes me want to play Archon. I think we definitely just hit them first, though. Sure. We have Glimpse of Freedom to start drawing extra cards soon. Well, that's brutal. Okay, so they whiffed on that. So now we have our Chimera. We don't have anything we need to kill right now. The Eidolon's going to draw 3 cards, which is a bummer. Get our Dreadful Apathy. And we do have Glimpse of Freedom to start getting some card advantage back in this matchup. Oh gosh. Yeah, they have a lot of like kind of useless draws as well. Sure. We just have to wait till we draw our Thassa, and then we'll be getting rid of that just fine. Our 2/5 actually attacks into this board. That is no longer the case. I'm just going to get rid of it. Get in for 2. If we draw a blank, we can just get rid of it with Elite Instructor. Sure. Sure. I hope they don't have the card that gives hexproof. Dang it. Okay. We're going to flashback Glimpse of Freedom. And the next turn we'll play 2 more threats. I mean, 2 more blockers. We just need to find Thassa now. We were probably supposed to one with the stars. Actually, it doesn't get rid of abilities. So that would not have done anything. We'll take it. Come on, Thassa. I really spewed my I really did not get good value out of my Dreadful Apathy. Getting rid of the Chimera was really pointless and foolish. I can actually just gang block the Brine Giant now, which is good. Sure. Sure. Block. Chump. 2, 3, 4. So they can kill like one of my creatures. I would be sad about losing the Chimera, but they're going to deck before I do. And I also have my Thassa to, and I also have a Witness of Tomorrows to win in the air if I need to. Yeah, they just got stalled out. There's nothing they could do. Oh, these have trample? Did not know that. And I have my turtle. Turtle Power Rangers. Okay, so they're back to being 4/4s, but my turtles still handle them. Oh, man. So I have to just hope. Oh, they still only have 3 enchantments because the Brine Giant had a enchantment on it. Draws 3 enchantments. Wait, what happened to their other one? Oh, Ichthyomorphosis went away. Perfect. Played him like a magazine. That's not a saying. Okay, so we will first get this guy into play. Top. We do not need to rush things. Perfect. So we have an attack for 4 and then an attack for 4. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. 6 attackers, I mean. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 4, 8. And I can tap 1 down. So if I attack, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. They'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attackers. Yeah, we cannot afford to attack. We don't want to draw into another thirst. We just want to draw blockers. If they get too aggressive with their attacks, we can kill them. Maybe we should have attacked in the air. We do have an indestructible blocker. So in their graveyard they have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 13. So they probably only have lands left. Actually, they probably cut some lands. So we have we could kill them in 2 turns of attacking in the air. None of their stuff has reach. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, so they can, and they have these 4. So this is 4 animate a land, 4 animate a land, 4 animate a land. So they have enough to make 3 more creatures. I can tap 2 of those creatures, but then they would no longer have these 2 guys. So I could tap 2 of those creatures, and then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attackers. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. Oh, and I can reset this guy. Perfect. Oh, I should have done that last turn. Duh. Yeah, I should have killed them by attacking them twice. That would have been way better. I forgot I could reset attackers. Oh, that's really not great for them. Do they even have an answer to Thassa? It makes all of their like little tokens into 4/4s. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no, I have messed up, I guess. Do I just lose now? Oh man. I did not see that coming. Not gonna lie. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only have 6. I think I might still live at 1. I can let, because these things have to tap if they want to make more creatures. So they tap 4, make a guy. Tap 4, make a guy. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 creatures, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, they tapped one of their caryatids. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think they punted. I think they could have won this game if they had not done that. Like, if they hadn't played this guy and they instead had 2 of these guys attacking me, they would have won. Yeah, so I punted by attacking, and then they punted by being foolish. Boom! We win the match. That was only game 2, so we would have had a chance game 3 anyway, but they messed up by playing the Destiny Spinner. Because it wasn't about how big their creatures were, it was about quantity of creatures. And they had enough creatures to kill me by exact damage, but they played the Destiny Spinner to bump their guy up strength. Whew! That was crazy. But I'll see you in the next round. Wow, that took a while. Round 2. We would like to play first. We'll keep this hand. Pretty solid hand. We got a Naiad into a Shimmerwing into Staggering Insight on it. Being on the play is a huge advantage for our deck because we don't have great 2-drops. Okay. Well, that's absolutely terrifying. I was tempted to just Dreadful Apathy that and then immediately exile it. Aphemia is an amazing card. This costs 2 to play now. So now we have an interesting line where we just Staggering and hold up our Deny the Divine. Whoa, thanks Suicidal Samurai for the host. 2 days in a row, I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one. That line appeals to me. We'll draw a couple cards. And then once we play our Shimmerwing Chimera, we can return the Staggering to our hand. I will Suicidal. This backfires if they play a removal spell, but like Mire's Grasp doesn't do it. Because we can counter that too. And it exiles it, so they don't even get an extra 2/2. And they look like they might be color screwed. Like when they play 3 of the same land, it always kind of indicates to me that they might be color screwed. Gonna take my horse to the old town road. Gonna ride till I can't no more. Opponent. Ugh, I like that line better than just playing the Chimera. I think it'll work out better in the long run. Gets me a nice little onboard advantage, puts a lot of pressure on them. That's kind of what I found this tournament to be about a lot of the time, is making a threat that your opponent kind of has to deal with, and then like kind of keep continually presenting must deal with threats, or having a game plan that's so powerful that your opponent can't compete with it. Next turn, we're going to Dreadful Apathy the Euphemia and hit again, holding up our deny. I do not know where our opponent has gone. I've already taken my damage. It's their second main phase. I don't actually care about that card. They can have it. If they want to chump to stop me from drawing a card, I'm fine with that. They did miss a land drop, so that's good to know. Like, that's fine with me. And it definitely looks like I'm representing an anti-removal spell card as well. I am pricing myself into exiling the Euphemia here, but I'm okay with that. Okay. And the next turn we can play Shimmerwing Chimera. Sure. So I'm at 7 lands now, so with one more land I can go 2 cards in a turn. I'm definitely fine if they're choosing to sack their creatures to prevent me from drawing a card. Like, one pretty good thing is now I can put the aura on my Shimmerwing Chimera. Especially if I draw planes, I can go Archon, put the thing on Shimmerwing. Or I can go, yeah, Archon plus Thassa. They have Final Death. Yeah, that's a little bit irritating. But now they don't have an answer for my Archon, presumably. Land me. I think I'm supposed to trade with the Soul Reaper of Mogus now. I probably should have traded last turn, to be quite honest. Soul Reaper really messes with my one with the stars. Yeah, I'm countering your Catoblepas. Or that Elspeth Nightmare for sure. 100%. They could have Myers Grasp to finish it off. Well, that was a mistake. I have made a misclick. I forgot that was how the trigger worked. Yeah, my bad. That was pretty terrible. Not gonna lie. I could have got my Thassa into play this turn and had Devotion on. I've really been slow rolling this Archon. Yep. Yeah, I really messed this up. The stupid Chimera trigger really got me. Because then I could safely play my Archon this turn. Oh gosh, the error's really costly. Dang it. Oh my gosh, it wasn't even like a tactical error, it was just a misclick. No. Oh, thank God. Thank goodness. Sure. Okay, they're out of cards. Perfect. So I go to 1, and then I stabilize and win. Land would be really good here, too. Booyah. And now I trade, block. I really have to just have to hope they waste 1 turn. If they whiff this turn, I win. Because then I'll just have enough 2/2s that no matter, even if they kill it the next turn, I'll still win. Oh, it feels real bad to potentially lose to a misclick like that. But I think we got this. And misclicks happen. It's part of the human aspect of Magic. You can't always click perfectly. At least it wasn't a tactical error. Tactical errors would be worse. Did they drop Myers Grasp? No. We're going to draw here because if we draw Stern Dismissal, we can... Nope, okay. Okay, there we have another combo assembled. Perfect. Okay, well, it's not going to be as easy to win now, but still should be pretty easy. Gosh, well, they top decked once, and then they didn't top deck the second time, so we're okay. If we hadn't misclicked, we would have won already, but we're still going to win. The Omen with the Sun was a really good draw from us. Because now we can just do that every turn with our Shimmer Wing. They're going to make this a 5-2. And then we will just throw our Heliod's tokens in front of it. And then once we get up to 8 lands, we can just start tapping it with the Thassa. So they can bring it back now. Bring it back now, y'all. Hit for 5. Turn on my Thassa. Hitting for an extra 6 doesn't do anything. So if they have Final Death, which is the best card they could have to kill this, and then they untap and draw Grey Merchant of Asphodel, I still have 2 blockers. Got him. Okay, moving on to game 2. We definitely don't want any 1 toughness creatures susceptible to Mogus. This card seems great. I'm going to bring a Nyxborn Seaguard for Elite Instructor. Because they have 2-3. Yeah, this just seems better. They have an Ephemia, which is also a bummer. Okay, we'll keep this. It's a little bit rough in terms of like early stuff to do. If they slam an Ephemia on turn 2, we might have to go for this turn dismissal. And then counter it on the way back down play. Yeah, no 2-drop. Thank goodness. And drawing a land is definitely a welcome addition to the hand. We're just going to bounce that now. Just gonna keep the tempo up. Keep our life total high. Sure. Also sure. Feels bad to get rid of him, but we need the land. Revoke Existence can kill Ephemia. They have Final Death, and I guess they have Mire's Grasp. Alter. Interesting. Okay. So give us a Plains deck, and we will rule the world. Hit for 3. Bring it back now, y'all. The fact that this gives vigilance to a creature is just like really gravy. I want to do this because now I can play Archon and immediately flicker the Witness to get a 2/2 on the end step, which is quite nice. And if I draw Plains, I can go Archon, Staggering Insight. This thing could have attacked. If they had a creature, they would have used it. If they had a removal spell, I mean. Our deck is great. Boom! And we win the match. Our opponent has seen enough, and we are headed to the finals. Welcome to the finals. We have a fantastic hand. We've got our Thassa and our Archon. This is one of those ones where it's like you play games, and this is the game that we're meant to win for sure, and then the other games should be more hard fought, hopefully. But like, if we don't win this game, we're gonna have serious issues down the line. Okay. Oh, thank goodness. I was afraid of the discard spell. And also, this being a 1-powered 2-drop is really good for me. Because I'm on the draw. I did lose the die roll, so it's not all gravy. Woe Strider, sure. I think I'll double block the Woe Strider. Needs 4 other cards. Yeah, that's a while away. If they hold up mana this turn, I'll play my Daybreak Chimera. Otherwise, it's Thassa time. Yeah, we haven't played a creature worth killing, so we're just going to get our Thassa down. We'll take 3 this turn. Counterspell would be bad for me. But also, if they counter this, it means they can't counter my future spells. Yup. Shoot! I want to do it this way because now I can hold up Omen of the Sea in the future. And also, they can't counter my Archon now. Slash, I feel like they probably have a Final Death. 2 cards on top, that's not good for me. That's really bad for me, actually. Whew. We're only taking 3 though. We're still fine. Metamize Prophecy, sure. Two cards on top again. Sure. Oh, this is so tricky. I think we need to get this guy in play. Just to stop their attacks for a little bit. And now we have a threat. They have to choose a card name, so we know what they're going to cast, so we can decide whether we want to hold the Deny the Divine. Vexing Goal. Yep. So they did have a removal spell. The one of their cards in hand is Vexing Goal. Oh, man. So when you cast, it doesn't have to resolve. Yep. They draw 2. The fact that they had to pick Vexing Goal makes me happy. I can't counter Final Death anyway. Okay. Get rid of... I'm going to upkeep Scry. Thirst Remaining and Plains. Bottom, top. I'm just gonna not cast a spell into their counters right now. I think I'd rather get this Hippocamp off the battlefield. Also, I don't want them to get the Woe Strider back. Yeah, I'll save my counterspell for the Woe Strider. Okay, one with stars. Sure. I was too afraid of counterspells because I know that they have this Hippocamp and they've been doing a ton of stuff. But here they're going to get back Woe Strider, maybe, or they're going to try to. Okie doke. So we know they have Glimpse, Metamize, Myers Grass. They have a lot of enchantments. Woe Strider, Memory Drain, Hippocamp. So we don't want to mill them, that's for sure. They have a very tricksy deck, but it's not super fast, which is what I like to see. Okie doke, let's get this W. Okay, this is a great hand. We did not see a Final Death in their deck. Oh, there's a good draw. The turtle shall save us. Keeps up all of our good stuff. Okay. So they're light on lands, or they wouldn't have done that then. We will definitely get this turtle into play just to help us. Yep. Metamize. What are they going to scry? Where are they going to scry? Oh, so they did have land. I don't need to hold up my flash stuff, so I'm just going to go for my sorcery speed things at this moment. Yep, and we'll get Staggering Insight, because that seems the most useful. It just makes our stuff into actual real threats. It like makes it so they'll have to tap out on something that might not otherwise be a good threat. Also, if they hold it 4 mana, we have instant speed options now. Chooses Omen of the Sea. Them having a main phase Omen of the Sea is going to be nice. Because now we can get this guy down. Because if they want to draw their cards, they can Myers Grasp, but they cannot get better than that if they want to kill Archon. Because they're going to Omen of the Sea here to draw their 2 cards. But then there's no cheap removal spell in black that can kill it. For 2 mana, they could, if they had held up double black and they had drawn a land, they could have used the 4 mana uncommon. But I just don't think they have that card. So there's a perfect opportunity to get our Archon down. I think I sometimes play too scared with Archon. Land me? No land. Okay. So they're holding up a Deny the Divine or a Thirst. So let's just go to combat. Attack. I really want to draw a land at some point soon, but we're just going to pass for now. And then we can, when they tap out, we can play Heliod's thing. Oh, brighter than the sun. So we can Do we want to bounce Vexing Goal? No. Let's bounce the Soul Reaper. No, we don't need to bounce anything. If they sacrifice a creature in response to our bounce spell, we are happy with that. So they get to know the top card of each player's library. We will probably just do the tempo Stern Dismissal on their end step. Yeah, I really don't like Minimize Prophecy, so the fact that they have 2 is surprising to me. Like, it's a very slow, clunky 2 to the bottom, okay. Where do we want Staggering Insight? Probably onto this guy. It does expose it to a bounce spell. But like we're going to be exposed to a bounce spell no matter where we put it pretty much. So we put it on Heliod's Pilgrim. I actually kind of like the Pilgrim play. Because if they do bounce it, we can... Okay, that's not cool, bro. I don't want to sacrifice this because I want to keep my sure. Woe Strider has been milled. That was a good mill. I want to keep this in place so if I draw my Chimera. Sure. We care about it more for the trigger anyway. Boom! Our opponent has scooped it up. We have seized the win, seized the trophy, seized the victory. If you did make it all the way to the end of this YouTube video, in the comment section down below, leave a hashtag Thassa Archon Bros or Thassa Archon combo. I don't know. It was a great deck. I really liked the way we navigated the draft too. We shifted around. We made sure we played our Archon, which is a really important part of the draft format, and we ended up with a Thassa as well to boot. That is going to do it for the video, though. If you did enjoy it, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss any future videos, and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions or feedback. Remember, hashtag Thassa Archon Bros to let me know you made it all the way to the end. If you would like to catch the Twitch stream, you can find it at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. Be sure to follow there. And yeah, that is going to do it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.